Good morning, greetings, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures if you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be. But you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you. We want to be your go-to source for all things health and nutrition, and we welcome your phone calls at 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything health-related, nutrition-related, health challenges, you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, or if you have a comment or success story you'd like to share, or if you have questions about any of the ingredients in our longevity products or Truth Skin Health products, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side, 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, or even better, if you want to join the Bright Side Ben team and start a longevity business, help educate the world about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program and change lives, literally change lives. And that's what nutritional supplementation can do for the uninitiated, for people who have never supplemented before. A nutritional supplement program can be nothing short of life-changing. People have lost 100 pounds, 150 pounds of weight. People's blood pressures have dropped. People getting off all their medication. This is all what's possible from nutritional supplementation. Not that supplementation is the end-all and be-all. As you know, if you listen to this program, we're always talking about all the different things you got to do, but supplementation is a key player in keeping the body as healthy as it should be. Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, obviously. We talk about that all the time. In fact, we've been talking about energy. But nutritional supplementation can go a long way towards helping the body get better, particularly in deficiency states, and many people are in deficiency states. Anyway, call 866-735-2470 for more info on how you can sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. All right, welcome back to the Bright Side. We are talking energy, the movement of energy, energy healing. I was listening to a guy named Michael Shermer yesterday. Michael Shermer is a skeptic. He's written books about skepticism and how, particularly skeptical of what he calls woo-woo. We talked about woo-woo a couple days ago. Woo-woo is nothing more than a dismissive term for energy, for the manifestations of energy, particularly when it comes to healing and comes to health. And he was kind of being dismissive of Deepak Chopra and the idea that there's a quantum nature to healing. And we got to be very careful of that, because that's the mainstream talking. And it's not that it's necessarily bad to be a skeptic. You do want to be a little bit skeptical, but we got to be careful about the mainstream's position, the orthodoxy's position, the establishment's position on the conventional position on how health can be accomplished and what health really is. I am telling you, it's an energy phenomena, and anybody who doesn't understand that it's an energy phenomena is operating on mechanical Newtonian physics from the 19th century. They're 200 years behind the times. You don't respect the energy nature of the body and the energy nature of health and the energy nature of healing. You are 200 years behind the times. That's why we're talking about it. And I know I understand that it's in the weeds a little bit, but I think it's really important for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's accurate. It's the truth. It's verifiable. It's replicatable. It's really what's happening in the body. We are at our most fundamental levels. Nobody can deny this. We are at our most fundamental levels, energy beings that have somehow learned to channel and direct energy in a certain way. And energy, it shows up as electricity. And there's no getting around it. That's just the facts. And nobody would deny it either. And secondly, it's important because if we understand it, then now we have a very foundational place that we can work, that we can leverage if we're not healthy. Healing is voltage. So if we're not healthy, there's a voltage problem. Voltage, by the way, is just suction and pressure, pushing and pulling. Suction is said to be negative voltage, and pressure or pushing is said to be positive voltage. You can say negative pressure or positive pressure is one way of putting it, because voltage is technically pressure. So a negative voltage, which is suction, and a cell has a negative voltage. It has a suction power. When it loses its suction power, there are mechanisms in place that will change the situation. When it's sick, when it's damaged, it loses its suction power. It doesn't suck up electricity as effectively. That's basically what happens when you hurt yourself, or when a cell is damaged or sick or somehow metabolically challenged. It's not sucking up electricity as effectively. No worries, because there's mechanisms in place. This is so cool. A cell has its own mechanisms in place to change its voltage, to pull, to create more suction so that it's healthier, so that when a cell is damaged, it actually has mechanisms in place that will allow it to suck up more electrical energy to heal the damage. That's pretty darn amazing. And that's not really, you may think it's in the weeds, but it's not, because that's how vitamin C works, and that's how B vitamins work, and that's how food works. Good electron-rich food works. All of it is driving electrical energy into cells. If we're not healthy, somehow our suction power is off. Movement is one of the all-time great ways to upregulate suction, to increase suction. That's why movement is so important. That's why a rebounder is so important. Your body sucks up electrical energy more effectively post-movement. Even while it's moving, it's sucking up electrical energy. That's why movement, if you're feeling sick or you're feeling sluggish, getting on a rebounder, moving your body can keep you from getting sick, because your body, if you catch it early enough, your body will have enough electrical energy. You'll be upregulating electrical energy so that it can fight the sickness at the beginning stages. Even while you're sick. If you're really, really sick, you may need to rest. You don't want to expend your precious electrons. But if you're not really, really sick, moving your body around is a really great strategy. If you have anemia even, if you have any kind of muscle issues or back issues, movement can be very effective, because it'll help drive electrical energy into the areas that are swollen. That's, by the way, the whole issue with dirty blood. In fact, the number one place where electron delivery becomes stuck, the bottleneck of electrical delivery, is the bloodstream. Sticky blood, dirty blood. Because the blood is, it says in the Bible, the blood is the life. What it really means is blood is the delivery of electrical energy. It not only delivers the electrical energy, but it generates electrical energy as it's moving through the body. Our diseases are really plumbing issues, because all this electrical energy is coming in through the plumbing. So hemodynamics is the fancy way of saying plumbing in the body. Hemo meaning blood, and dynamics meaning the movement. The dynamics of the blood, the hemodynamics, is it's the source or the bottleneck of electrical energy when it comes right down to how healthy a cell is going to be. And this is all based in the science of fluid dynamics, which is kind of, that's also a new science, fluid dynamics. Fluid dynamics didn't really get studied really in any hardcore way until the beginning of the 20th century, late 19th century maybe. A guy named Victor Schauberger, if you're interested in learning about fluid dynamics, he studied the fluid dynamics of springs, natural water springs, and he noticed that the minerals in natural water springs are a completely different characteristic than regular minerals, because they're moving. That's why I always say, put your Beyond Tangy Tangerine in a blender and your vegetable juices in a blender, because the vortex that's created by the blender in combination with the electrolytes will create an electrical charge. This is all new physics. By new, I mean the last 150 years or so. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. back on the bright side, and we have lines open for you at 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about our Truth Skin Health products, we have a new energizing exfoliator. Electrons being delivered to the skin are how the skin stays healthy, like any other cells of the body. Our energizing exfoliator is made with plant-derived fulvic minerals. These fulvic minerals are polyelectrolytes. They're sources of electrical energy. Polyelectrolytes are super duper fascinating. We talk about electrolytes a lot, but we hardly ever talk about polyelectrolytes. Electrolytes are minerals that conduct electrical energy or hold electrical charges, if you will. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, phosphate, sulfate. These substances, sulfate is more than just an atom, and phosphate, but most of them are just one atom, like a potassium atom or ion, they say, because it's charged. Potassium ion, magnesium ion. These are electrolytes, but in the soil, bacteria can string these electrolytes in the long chains called polyelectrolytes. These polyelectrolytes are incredibly important for life, because this is how plants get fed. This is how plants eat. They eat the polyelectrolytes. They eat the polyelectrolytes that are produced by the microbes. And polyelectrolytes, because they're long chains of electrical energy, generate a magnetic field. All electricity generates magnetism, electromagnetism. They go together. But when you have long chains of electrolytes, electrically active atoms, you have a long magnetic field. And this is really important when it comes to how a plant gets fed, because these magnetic fields attract things. They attract vitamins. They attract nutrients. They attract other minerals. They attract amino acids. They attract fatty acids. And they form these complexes, these nutritional complexes, electrically active magnetic nutritional complexes that feed plant cells. They literally get pulled up through the roots of the plant, into the plant itself, into the cells, and they open up gates. They call them gates, voltage gates they're called, inside a cell. And these voltage gates open up like a garage door opens up to let nutrients in. The nutrients, the payload, minerals and all that other stuff, the vitamins and the other materials, they get delivered right to the plant cell. That's how plants get fed. And these same these are called fulvic minerals, these polyelectrolytes. These same fulvic mineral or polyelectrolyte complexes can be used in your body too. And they can be used in your skin as well. That's why you want to eat your vegetables. That's why you want to make sure you're using your plant-derived minerals. And if you take your plant-derived minerals, or you take any plant-derived mineral, not just concentrated, but plants, vegetables, and you spin it in a vortex, in a blender, you'll generate an electrical charge. Electrons and ions and minerals, when they're spun around in a vortex of fluid, become a completely different entity. They become a highly dynamic living entity. Not depending on how you define life, I suppose, but highly dynamic anyway, living entity. And when the biosystem, the biological system, doesn't have these things, it's sick. It's as simple as that. Electrons come in from food. The organization comes in from essential nutrients. The movement comes in from oxygen. And the whole thing occurs. All of the electrons and the movement and the nutrients have to be dispersed in a watery medium, i.e. the blood. So you got electrons, you got organizing molecules, and you got movement. And when these three components are in a clean system, a pristine system, like the clean blood of a baby or of an infant or of a healthy animal who's not corrupting their blood with domesticated fast food, the system is healthy. And when it's not, we're sick. Starvation, suffocation, and toxification are the only three issues that we have to worry about as human beings if we want to be healthy. Starvation, suffocation, toxification. Starvation refers to electrons, suffocation refers to the movement of electrons, and toxification refers to corruption of the system, the biochemical system that this whole thing's supposed to occur in. That's it. No more confusion. No more, we don't know what causes this. We don't know what causes that. We don't give you this drug and that drug and this surgery and that surgery. No more medical ignorance. No more trillions of dollars in health care. No more unnecessary disease and ridiculously, tragically shortened life. Feed the system, breathe the system, keep it clean. And from a physical perspective, we talked about spiritual, mental, emotional before. Now we're just saying from a physical perspective, that's all you need to do. Healthcare costs are ridiculous. Have you been reading about Donald Trump trying to force the drug companies to have, I don't even know if I believe that, but supposedly in the news, they're forcing the drug companies to lower their prices, and politicians are coming up with all kinds of shenanigans to keep the end user happily involved with the medical model. Free medical care, cheap medical care. The latest is free medical care. That's the latest one. What the heck does that even mean? Free medical care. You could endlessly go to the doctor? Are you kidding me? This is what the latest liberal socialist political take is. Not that I'm being political here, but it's just interesting from a health perspective. That's what the latest liberal socialist Democrat, I don't even know what they call it, platform or perspective or point of view is. They want to have free medical care for everybody. What does that mean? Free surgeries, free drugs, free visits for everybody. You go endlessly to the doctor. And by the way, there's no free lunch here. So when you have free medical care for everybody, that means everybody pays for it. Doesn't mean it's free for everybody. It means it costs everybody because it's subsidized. Taxpayers pay for everything. There's no free anything. And you're paying for something that doesn't even work. It would be one thing if you were paying for something that worked. You're paying for something that doesn't even work. And no one asked the question, notice, and you're going to hear more and more about healthcare costs, about free medical care for everybody, guaranteed over the next 10, 15, 20 years. You're going to hear more about free medical care. So notice how nobody ever asked the question, maybe it's not the cost of the healthcare, but the healthcare system itself that's the problem. The system that keeps us locked into it. The system that keeps us chained to it from cradle to grave. And in between, we interact with this medical model, most of us anyway, countless times. The average, present company excluded, the average person, not people listening to this program, I'm sure, but to the average person is going to head right to the doctor for every cold, every rash, every bellyache, pain, whatever. Every little thing that happens in the body, the average person is going to go to the doctor. Imagine what it is when it's free. But the thing is, once we understand the nature of it all, how it all works, the simplicity of it, which is what we talk about in this program, we'll be liberated. We'll be freed from this. And it's true, probably most people will still, most people are... There's always going to be a core of people who aren't going to pay attention, and they're going to be locked in, and that's just too bad. But little by little, human beings can begin to extricate themselves from literally what is the tyranny of the medical model. And I say literally. I'm not being dramatic. Benjamin Rush, signatory to the Declaration of Independence, famous philosopher, physician, humanitarian, politician. 300 years ago, he said, I'll read this quote to you. It's a very interesting quote from Benjamin Rush, and then we'll take your calls as well. 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lines open. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. We're back on The Bright Side. That line's open, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about any of our True Skin Health products or our longevity products, which are all available at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, you can give us a call, 844-236-6010. Got lines open for you. If you have a comment or success story you'd like to share, we love hearing those. 844-236-6010. Let's see here. Got a couple stories I want to read, and then we'll get your calls. If we get any calls, 844-236-6010. From the University of Illinois at Chicago, technique boosts omega-3 fatty acid levels in the brain. Getting enough omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA in particular, into their brain to study their effects on conditions such as Alzheimer's and depression is a tricky matter. So what they're doing now is they're coming up with techniques to try to drive the material into the brain. The point being that that EPA and DHA are extremely important for the brain, but you got to make sure they're getting there. And we talk about this all the time. Just taking your supplements isn't going to be enough. You got to figure out a way to get it into your brain or into your body. In this article from the Journal of Lipid Research, scientists report that by adding a specific type of fat, specific type of EPA particularly, they can get better absorption into the brain. Well, not everybody's going to have access to this kind of research molecule, but what you can do is you can take your ultimate EFAs with digestive enzymes. You can take your ultimate EFAs with lecithin. You can take your ultimate EFAs with meals. You can take your ultimate EFAs with apple cider vinegar. You can take your ultimate EFAs with pancreatin. You can do things to support the absorption of the fats and ultimately their delivery to the particular organs that you're looking for, in this case, the brain. The brain is very dependent on fats. Fats are electron-rich. We're talking about electrons and electrical energy. Fats are electron-rich. They don't have the same kind of movement activity that free ions do or charged particles like electrolytes do, but they're still dense. They're like mother loads of electron energy. This is what makes fats so valuable and so important. They carry a cloud of electrical energy. An electrolyte has a little piece of electrical energy, and a polyelectrolyte has long pieces of electrical energy. A fat has a cloud of, they actually call it an electron cloud. It has a cloud of energy around it. That's why fats are so important for growth. They provide like they're an electron resource. Free electrons can be derived from fats. That's why fats are so unstable, by the way, because those electrons can get knocked off really readily. That's why you don't want to burn your fats. That's why you don't want to heat your fats. That's what the whole knock on fats is those electrons in the electron cloud are knocked off really readily. When they're knocked off, they can change the total electrical charge of the fat, and when the charge of the fat is changed, we call that rancidity. When electrons are knocked off, that's when a fat becomes rancid. The sun can knock off electrons. Oxygen knocks off electrons. Heat knocks off electrons. That's why you want to keep your oils in a cold, dark, oxygen-free place. Keep it in as long as possible. But even then, electrons are going to get knocked off. That's why you want to keep them fresh. All right. 844-236-6010 is our number. Essential nutrient may help Alzheimer's across generation. In a new study, Blodesign, I think you say, BLODESIGN, Blodesign Institute, explores a safe and simple treatment for one of the most devastating and perplexing afflictions, Alzheimer's disease. This is from the journal Neuroscience. Guess what they're using for Alzheimer's disease? Nothing more than a nutrient called choline. Now, this is one of the nutrients that we talk we haven't talked about it at all, actually. I think I talked about it a few years ago. Choline is really fascinating stuff. Choline, as it turns out, is highly electrical. It's not really a fat, but it's close to a fat because of its, at least in terms of its electronics, because it's got a real powerful electrical energy. It's linked up to fats in lecithin. This is why lecithin is such a valuable substance. It's loaded with choline. Choline in a specific kind of form that's fatty. The choline itself is not fatty, but it attaches to fats very readily, and the choline in the fats are the most important component of lecithin, and eggs for that matter, which is why eggs are brain food, because of the choline. In fact, if you know anybody with Alzheimer's disease, get them on lecithin. Have them eating eggs. You know, a lot of people are under the impression that eating eggs is important for the brain and the nervous system because of the cholesterol, and it's true. The cholesterol is good stuff, but the main reason why eating eggs, or one of the main reasons why eating eggs is important for your nervous system and your brain, and if you're dealing with not just brain issues like Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease, but also for multiple sclerosis or for neuropathies, anything that has to do with the nerves, Eggs are incredibly valuable, not just because of the cholesterol, but because of the choline. They're one of nature's best sources of choline. In lecithin, the choline, it comes in the form of phosphatidylcholine and phosphatidylserine, which is similar. You've probably seen this. This PTS came out about 20 years ago. People realized that PTS and also PTC are very important for the brain, and you can actually buy these things. They're quite expensive. The best way to get your phosphatidylserine and phosphatidylcholine is from lecithin. In fact, many of the supplements that they sell as PTS or PTC are really just lecithin. So anyway, lecithin, eggs, soy, if you can handle soy, that's a source of lecithin. And just straight old choline. Great supplement for the brain, great supplement for the nervous system, great supplement for anti-aging of the brain if you're starting to, even if you don't have full-blown Alzheimer's disease. Remember, Alzheimer's disease, by the way, it's just a deterioration of the brain. It's not a special disease. Alzheimer's disease is not even a disease. It's just deterioration. It's just degeneration. This is really what all disease is. If you think about it that way, there's a new drug out I just saw. I forgot the name of it, but it's a drug that's supposed to help Parkinson's patients with their dementia. Because guess what? Parkinson's disease has one of the symptoms is something called Parkinson's dementia. Why would that be? Because Parkinson's is the same thing as Alzheimer's. So if Alzheimer's is a state of dementia, excuse me, why wouldn't Parkinson's disease be? Parkinson's disease occurs in the brain a couple of millimeters to the back. And Alzheimer's disease is a deterioration of the brain a couple millimeters to the front. It's not a different disease. It's deterioration of the brain. And there's movement disorders associated with Alzheimer's disease, just like there's dementia associated with Parkinson's disease. That's what I'm talking about, the generic nature of disease. It's just the body deteriorating, secondary to starvation, following starvation, suffocation, and toxification. It is not a difficult concept. Only a doctor would think it's a difficult concept, because they need to think it's a difficult concept, because that's how the model is structured, and that's how they make their living. But we don't have to buy into it. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We will return right after this commercial break. Okay, we're back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, 10 to 11 Central Time, and 24/7 on the archive pages, or archive page at brightsideben.com. Also, you can purchase longevity products or sign up to join the Brightside Ben team at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Our new alpha-hydroxy acid energizing exfoliator came out 2 days ago. Free shipping, by the way, for the near future anyway, on truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. I forgot to read, we'll get to your calls here in just a sec, so hang tight. I forgot to read that quote, which is very interesting, from Benjamin Rush, and we'll continue talking about this tomorrow. The idea of medical tyranny is not a new idea. It's not a crackpot conspiracy theory idea, the idea of medical tyranny, unless you think Dr. Benjamin Rush was a crackpot conspiracy theorist, which he wasn't. He was a signatory to the Declaration of Independence and a well-respected humanitarian and philosopher and doctor and politician and educator, etc. Quote, "Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize into an undercover, undercover dictatorship to restrict the art of healing to one class of men and deny equal privileges to others. The Constitution of the Republic should make a special privilege for medical freedoms as well as religious freedom," unquote. He knew this. Great thinkers of the time knew hundreds of years before it happened that medicine, and because of its power, because obviously it has a lot of power over the human body, would ultimately and eventually become a tyranny, become tyrannical. And that's what we're experiencing now, the tyranny of orthodoxy. where ideas that we talk about on this program every day are considered by the mainstream, not by you guys, not by present people listening to this program, to be craziness, quackery, energy medicine, really, woo-woo. Michael Shermer, Mr. Skeptic, woo-woo. Poor Deepak Chopra. There's nothing he's saying that is not correct, not a single word, and I've been studying his stuff since 1989. Not a single word that ever came out of his mouth or he put in a book has been incorrect. But it sounds crazy to to small minds, to skeptics. I understand it sounds crazy. But from a physics perspective, there's nothing he's saying that's not accurate. And the question just becomes, are we going to apply the truths and the verities that have been gleaned from the most accurate science that there has ever been, which is quantum mechanics, the most accurate way of describing our world that has ever been in the history of mankind? That's what quantum mechanics is. It's accurate to the 99.9999999% degree. Nothing has been that accurate. Mechanical physics can't even come close to that. And the question is, are we going to start to apply those understandings to how we run our bodies? Or are we going to are we going to limit ourselves by skeptics like doctors and Michael Shermer? Sorry to pick on that guy, but he really got my goat listening to him on YouTube. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Chris in Florida, good morning, and welcome to the bright side. What's up, buddy? Do we have Chris? Hello, Chris.
Yes, sorry.
Hey, Chris.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. I'm on a cell phone, so if you lose me, you could just hang up.
Okay, what's going on?
Nonetheless, I'm a fan of yours for 5 years. I've been listening to radio shows. They're absolutely unbelievable. I want to mule kick most doctors and nurses, not necessarily nurses, but doctors out of a window because everybody in my family has been railroaded by the medical model.
Makes you so mad, doesn't it? You got to let people be. You got to let people make their own decisions, but it does make you mad, especially when it's a loved one.
I know. Anyways, for Christmas, I ordered all your products. I don't even know why. I think I spent like $500 or something. But I bought products for my wife, and she loves them. And I remember over the years, it's the first time I bought your products, but I've heard about your products over and over. But she says she's having a little peeling on her face, and I think you said that was normal, right?
Well, it depends on what she's using. I assume she's using the retinol.
Yes, I got her that. I got her a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know.
Okay, good for you. But, yeah, the retinol will cause peeling, sometimes dramatic, but it doesn't. It goes away. I mean, you'll only peel the first few times you use it. After a while, it goes. You stop peeling dramatically anyway. And then if you lay off of it a while, and use it again, you will peel. So
and I've seen a difference in it already, and it's only been a couple weeks. I know that's
pretty amazing, right? It's pretty amazing.
But, I'm so angry because all the products that she used to buy from the time of
Live and Learn
years are nothing but garbage.
It's true. Live and Learn, though. I mean, if I wasn't around, you'd still be doing it because I'm the only guy doing it. I'm the only guy doing it that way.
I know.
Because I'm not really a cosmetic chemist. I'm a therapist, and I'm working. And I developed these products and these concepts in my compounding pharmacy for dealing with broken skin, wounded skin, traumatized skin. So I had different standards that I was working with. I didn't care about the smell, or I didn't care about my costs, or I didn't care about what the product looked like necessarily. I just wanted to have the absolute most powerful stuff, and that's what you're getting is the most powerful stuff that you can find on the market. And what do you weren't? I hear a lot of stuff about the price. But the fact is that you're getting stuff that works, and it's lasting you a long time, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer. And like you say, there's no reason to use anything else. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah. No worries. I was just going to say that it's just a great thing for my kids, too, because I have a daughter. She's 12, and she's going to be getting into the cosmetics and stuff, and I want her to... They all know you. Every time I mention a name, my kids tell me to shut up because I just hammer it home so much, and we listen to you in the car.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's so much, it's hard to get a kid to bend into the health. I mean, they want to listen to whatever they're listening to. But,
what's their take on health? Do they pay attention to that kind of stuff? Or
they absolutely do. We try to be non-GMO. I'm all about the gut. I mean, every time something's wrong with them, I can almost hear your voice in my head telling them what to do. It's like I'm reincarnated through you, or living vicariously.
That's awesome. That's what that's what I'm trying to do. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, because I can only spread the word so far, but everybody else can spread it further. So that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Thank you for that.
If I can only just download what's in your brain, I would do it in a heartbeat. But
you're doing a pretty good job, and I've been doing it for 35 years, and I've seen. I had the good fortune of seeing so many patients. I don't know. That sounds kind of weird, but I've seen so many people, and most people only see their family or their kids or something or themselves. Yeah. I've seen thousands upon thousands of people, so I have that advantage. So it's not that I'm smarter than anybody. It's just that I've been hit over the head more times than most people. And so I see it, and I see patterns, and it's like I can predict. I sound psychic. I talked to a lady yesterday. She just randomly called me. She had hemochromatosis, and they sent her home to die. She's 44, and they said, get your affairs in order, and there's nothing we could do. Hemochromatosis is a liver problem. So I just talked to her for a few minutes. I said, look, I'm going to sound like I'm a psychic right now, because she doesn't know who I am or on the radio, or she hasn't listened to me on the radio or anything. So I said, I'm going to sound like a psychic. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not a psychic, but I'm going to guarantee you this is correct. You have had digestive problems your whole life. And she goes, how did you know? Yes. She goes, because to her, that's an amazing piece of information. To you, that's like common knowledge. She's 44. She's got a liver problem. There's no way she can't have digestive problems her whole life. So anyway, the ideas that we're talking about here are logical and common sense, but you're one of the few people, and listeners to this program, I should say, are privy to this kind of information. Most people don't. It hasn't even dawned on them, and it certainly hasn't dawned on their doctors either. So keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Chris. That really helps me in my mission a lot, and I appreciate that. Are you doing longevity, by the way?
We buy Tangy. Every one of my family members, I give it away. I mean,
good for you.
If there's one thing, if I was falling off the edge of a cliff, I would just tell my kids, drink Tangy. They know it, and they live it. And I'm 44, and I do fasting every day. I don't until about 5, and I have maybe a 2 or 3 hour window. I'm 44. I drink Tangy all day long, sip on it all day long.
You should be part of the business, man. You'd be great in the business.
Man. I would actually love to be. It's strange, just because my wife keeps telling me, why don't you do this for a living? Because
you can do it for a living.
When we go to parties, she's like, please don't talk about young Jeffy, because it's too crazy. But actually, I own a spray foam business, and I'm kind of in the construction industry.
What is spray foam? Anyway, what do you mean by spray foam? What is that?
Insulation, expanding polyurethane foam. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Whereabouts in Florida?
Right in Orlando. So it's hotter than a billy goat
it's brutal.
Inside an attic. Yeah.
It's brutal. Orlando is a brutal place. Holy cow.
So hang out in attics when you're 44 and have some fun.
My God.
But my life has been transformed by longevity. And I know I sound like a broken record. Everybody says that.
I love it.
But man, the proof is in the pudding. I'm 44 and I got so much energy. I'm losing weight like crazy, and I really didn't have much to lose.
How long have you been? When did you start?
I think probably just about 2 years ago, I started officially hitting longevity myself, with buying it and stuff like crazy and giving away and taking it myself. But it's been life-changing. I couldn't believe it. I love it.
Thank you so much, man. I hope somebody's taping this. We're going to use it for a commercial. That's awesome. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
Hey, take care, buddy. God bless. Happy New Year, too. All right. That's all the time we have. I love hearing those stories. That's all the time we have for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.